Alright, the challenge series has returned for episode 34. And, I'm looking at these commentators' notes. Now that Nidori is the one leaving them behind. Oh boy. Her handwriting's a little weird. She kind of writes like a 10-year-old. This is coming from me. My handwriting's terrible as well. I write like a 12-year-old. I can make cohesive words on a piece of paper, but then I'm typing like 4 words per minute. So take your pick. Either I get that essay written out today and it looks like shit, or I take a week and a half on it and maybe you can read it. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, 34. Pretty much picking right up where we left off from 33 with a couple of exceptions. No, there'd be nothing to debut. Everything debuted in 33. Dirt racing, Group 4 racing, the different cars, the new cars that were debuting, the 3 new drivers. So I guess we'll just hit up round 1 in short order. We're green from round 1 and we're kicking things off with the dirt class this time. And I know this is of particular interest to the guy that we're following on board with here. Colin Morris, who was like the first driver in the whole series to pitch for a dirt division, thanks to his rallycross upbringing, was absolutely gutted that he couldn't make it to round 1. His transport truck that was carrying his vehicle had an engine failure about 3 towns out. Otherwise we would have had a 19 car grid. Said it was only 18. Now we have an 18 car grid again. I don't know who's missing. But now Colin Morris is here, and now he'll get more than a fair chance to flex his off-road racing muscles as far as, you know, this is what he does. This is his domain. This is the dirt. There are a few vehicles in this race that were not... Oh my god, I cannot see. That's not Colin, that's Nidori. Arnea seems to be in a better shape this time. Last we saw her in the dirt division, she was face first into a wall. Round the outside, oh my word. I know Nidori was not in the first one. She's running her Challenger. Who wasn't there? Oh, Sayori wasn't there. She's running her... the only front-wheel drive car in the group, her Mini. Was Suako there? I think she was. No. Other than that, I think the field's the same. Look at Thrasher out here on the rear-wheel drive, leading the field. He's actually pulled away from everybody else, but he's got a particularly snappy focus in his mirrors now. If you could even see him there through all the dust. But yeah, other than Colin Morris, as Thomas O'Reilly has to get a little bit of muscle work in to grab third away from Koizumi. Yeah, Thrasher's tearing shit up. Morris is catching him, though that may not last forever. It's just an art form. This guy's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's no wonder he wanted this so bad. I guess now the question of the day is, can Thrasher keep second place away from the other Focus? It's a great day to be a Ford guy, though, since they're now dominating the top 3 with all 3 of their, like, 3 cars. Arnea is running for her life against an onslaught of muscle cars. This is Tyler versus Nidori for 5th. Looks like Tyler's got the preferred line through there, though. He's driving like that with only one hand on the wheel. This guy's nuts. In the background, Nittery got ahead of Tyler finally. Talk about David versus Goliath. Sari in the little front wheel drive, less than a ton mini, and then truck! Dude's got like a 9-second lead. Jesus fuck. Full send. Colin Morris knows exactly what he is doing. Holy shit. Yeah? I think Colin Morris has won the race. I don't know what you got to say about that. I don't think you can dispute it. No small feat for Thrasher, though. He's going to come home in P2 in a rear-wheel drive Mustang. Rally Stallion. And Timeless O'Reilly is going to complete the all-Ford podium, with Nittery taking 4th place, also in a rear-wheel drive car. Hanyo slipped to 6th at the last second and could have fallen even further if there were more laps in the event. Yeah, America runs the whole top 4. Craig Thompson, the only one defeating that. I believe Otto is the one that missed this race. He's won anyway. There's a few that weren't here that were in the last one. Tetsuya Harada wasn't here, although Rantanen is here. And there's like one other car that got swapped around. I don't remember for who though. Well, whoever Nittery's replaced here. Anyway, instead of spending 12 minutes deliberating that, on to race 2. And you're green here in round 2. It's a 680 class race from Watkins Glen. Nice. What's the camera doing there? What? We are focused on Otto Koskinen in this event. As I can only imagine maybe he missed the dirt class race because he was preparing his Evo 6 for this one instead. I suppose it makes sense. He probably never left the United States after completing his race at Fisherman's Ranch last time out. They are 3 wide at the moment. My dad just passively backs out of that. Otto nearly gets turned by Dom DePrisco, but manages to all-wheel drive his way out of problems. He's already up 5 places, and we're only through like 1/3 of the lap. Screeches ahead of that RX-7. Bit unstable there. That's kind of rare for an all-wheel drive car. Certainly rare for this one. It's a little more common in, say, a GTR. I've seen Rollins and Taniguchi too wide through multiple corners now. I think Rollins finally got ahead of the Supra. Koskinen inserts himself into the picture, and he's gonna easily just take the pair of them heading down the front stretch. Almost out brakes Nakazatos. I think I just heard Taniguchi give Rollins a bit of a nudge back there. All-wheel drive exit allows him to power ahead of the RX-7. Up through the S's. And 5 p.m. traffic. Holy crap, I am making a train of myself right now. Auto gets 2 Porsches in 1 sector. I get a huge understeer moment and drive through the grass, smacking June Summers along the way, but despite that, she still passes me, and then Koskinen takes full advantage and grabs 3 places in 1 straightaway. The Red Sea just parted for him, courtesy of my stupid ass. Sneaks to the outside of McCormick. Out-drags Narashi down the final long straightaway before the front stretch. Actually, that wasn't even that long, really. Bit of off-roading. I mean, he is an Evo. Mishima's found a bit of a stride here. She hasn't been doing too well since she debuted, but this is like the first time that she's really performed, at least in her 400Z concept. Oh boy, this is the battle I was hoping I wouldn't have to comment, because, well, we all know these two don't like each other. They came to blows during the dirt class race last week. Into the grass. And around goes the Evo. Cobbins gives just a subtle nudge. And it's enough to put 2 wheels in the grass for that Evo. And he is KO'd. He about keeps the car in motion. He gets a bit of a tag from Kishibe. A beep of disapproval. I think he's trying to tell Mary to get out of the way, because hell hath no fury like an Evo scorn. Gets back ahead of the C3. Whoa! Whoa! Hold it there, Mr. Rally Driver. Amateur rally driver, but a rally driver nonetheless. Back ahead of the Z. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Oh, Jesus. I think we may need a red flag for that. There's debris, there's Rally Legend remnants scattered all over the outside circuit there. Now it's 1 bump. He just chooses to not break into T1. And carries the Subaru into the wall. Well, we can't red flag it, that's just the finish, because we're on the final lap. So, Violetta Vegas is going to be your winner here at the Glen, ahead of Reiko Mishima and Mary McCormick. Yikes. Well, yeah, apparently from what I'm reading through these commentators' notes, there was a literal brawl in the infield post-race. Similar to what I thought about the culture of the series being more passive after I got Gina out of here. I mean, I guess these two had pre-existing issues well before you or I even met them. They've been having their little feud for a couple of years now. That dates back to when they were both running amateur rally events alongside WRC events in Europe. So, yeah, we're, apparently we are now cutting to race 3? And we are green for the third race of the episode. It's the Group 4 event at Monza, and we have quite an interesting debut in this race. I didn't even know there was going to be another driver debuting until I looked on the starting grid and saw it. Good brake bias there, Nozomi. Yeah, just drive straight back across the track. I mean, I guess you're in the grass. What else are you going to do? Let's see here. It's shifting. We have Travis Wild here. He was not at Tokyo. Little Cayman Nittery's driving an Evo. You were there. Dom DePrisco arrives. He's got a Duracell themed Lamborghini. I always liked the idea of this. Francesca Fidanzi is driving a Ferrari 458. We have Minako Kochiya's Atenza, which ironically looks a lot like my car, but instead of gold accents, mine's like fluorescent pink accents, because it's just my ARC ride. Literally, it's my ARC car. As you can see, if it would let me look at it, my god, you can see the ARC branding there, the weird highlighter green highlighter green windshield banner. That was not my idea, but AJ's. Lynette Milsen and a Veyron Group 4. I don't even know why this car exists. Hikaru Taniguchi in a Nissan R35 Group 4. indicate a bit of fun with this paint job, since this is a GTA 5 car. Violetta Vegas in an Alfa Romeo 4C. So shortchanging herself, because here comes Hikari with all of the straight line speed. Marcus Mendez in a Suzuki Swift. It looks exactly like his normal Suzuki Swift, just now it's a Group 4 car. Barbara Page, Corvette. Wayne Hansen, Huracan. And everything else is the same, except for, here's the debuting driver. Francisco Fidanzi. Francesca's dad. He was a DTM driver in the late 80s to 90s. So as such, he has used the opportunity to take his title-winning Alpha 155 for another ride in front of his home fans at Monza. I don't know if the home crowd was a big part of the inspiration for him to make this appearance, if this is a one-off, if he's running full-time again like his daughter is, or what. He doesn't probably know all those details yet, so how am I gonna know them? But he's certainly lighting the track on fire right now. He's up to 4th already. We're only through a lap and a half of racing. Goodbye, Hansen. The hell was that? Looks like, it's shaping up to be Francisco versus Taylor versus Thomas for the lead here as we head into lap 3 of the race. Taylor has a bit of a run on the Mustang. She might challenge for the lead right here. A bit of lane changing kerfufflery as we, I don't know, that's not a word. Anyway, they're too wide into T1, and Taylor's gonna have the preferred line. So Taylor is the race leader with that pass. Vegas is forcing me onto a curb there. I think I also saw Johnny Parker was forcing Nittery onto a curb in the same corner. Thomas tried to come back at Taylor into the second chicane. Instead, he only finds himself that much closer to Francisco in the Alpha. Sweeps around the outside of Lesmo 1. He literally jokingly said, in the commentator's notes, debuts to, quote, show these youngins how to drive, and Thomas ain't even a youngin', and he showed him how to drive there. He hasn't registered in the driver bio yet, so I don't actually know if Francisco is older or younger than Thomas O'Reilly. But from what I understand, they raced alongside each other in DTM. And speaking of alongside, Francisco was alongside of and now ahead of Taylor going into Parabolica. But the outside lane can get a pretty good exit here if they are not encumbered, which they are not. But Francisco does not care, he gets the superior exit anyway. But Taylor's still maybe sneaking alongside. The Genesis apparently has some top speed to it. That of just the Alpha doesn't have much top speed to it, one way or the other. I thought Francisco broke early, but no, it is the exact opposite. He broke exactly when he meant to. Taylor's off the track, tags Francisco, puts him in a bit of sand. So dramatic battle for the lead. Now I think Taylor's stuck in the gravel. Yeah, she is. Whoops. Yeah, they are. So their race is over with that mistake as they continue to plummet down the leaderboard. And now it's going to be a battle between Thomas and Francisco. We've reached 1988 once again. Maybe it'll be 1989, who knows. And you know that much just from passing conversation with Francesca. Francesca? Her dad won the title in 88. Lost it to Thomas O'Reilly in 1989. So these two have history, but it is competitive, spirited, and dignified racing history. Bit of an awkward cut there, the recording. Not the recording, like the, you know what I mean. Thomas feels the pressure, he's off into the gravel, the same place Wayne Hansen found himself on the second lap of the race. And so, I don't quite think that's exactly how Francisco wanted to do that. He probably wanted to pass him for the win instead of just watch Thomas O'Reilly skitter his way off of the circuit, but the hometown legend of Francisco Fidanzi is going to head out of Parabolica and return to the 1980s. He's going to win the Group 4 event at Monza. Wayne Hansen and Barbara Page make up the rest of the podium. Thomas O'Reilly did manage to get himself out of that gravel and recovers to P4. And Hikari gets P5, starting very low on the grid. And yes, Taylor found himself at the bottom of the running order, out of the race with just one lap to go, as they got stuck in that gravel. So we had a bit of a battle for about a sector between Thomas and Francisco. We went back in time about 30 some years. I'm sure those two love that, even if Thomas probably didn't love the results. He couldn't even get P2. He ends up in the gravel in P4. So Group 4 continues to be an incredibly intense division, and we've only had it for 2 weeks. So just hoping for many more races like that from this category. We are green from the 4th round of the episode. It is Fuji Speedway in a 640 race. And the camera is on Suwako Moria. Or Subako. Honestly, I don't even know anymore. It's just like, apparently it's Nitori, not Nitori. But I started saying it so long as Nitori that even she kind of got used to it, as did everybody else that knew her. And if I'm now being told it's Suwako, not Suwako, I have been saying Suwako for as long as I've known of her, so it would be hard for us to stop saying that. She's making quick progress, already getting P12 over Trevor Graham. He's got P11 ahead of the Integra of Ibaraki. Might send it on Honoka? No. On exit, almost snuck to her outside. Four-wheel drive might help a little bit, but it's not going to do much. Okay. Nearly runs Honoka over as Honoka tries to evade the Z33, who Moria gives a bit of a tap to, going through the second to last turn. Superior exit now up to P9 with that move. I'll drag my dad down the front stretch. I think Shoji once again finds himself massively struggling here. Even Narashi's gonna get by him, and the FC doesn't have much straight line speed either. That's pretty much topping out at 155. Okay. Suwako has just screeched her way up to 5th. Make that 4th. Make that 3rd. We're only a lap and a half into this thing, Suwako. My god. The battle for the lead is Thomas O'Reilly trying to find his way around Minako with his... I mean, I suppose it makes sense. If it's Minako, not Minako, it's gotta be Suwako, not Suwako, right? Either way, the Subaru gets ahead of Thomas. Clearly with where he's running right now, he's not too shaken up after that major defeat. Suwako finds a bit of grass. That allows Kochiya to undo the overtake. They're going to be too wide heading through the consecutive slow-speed corners. Inside lane is going to prove vastly superior there. And Kochiya just runs Moria right off the racetrack. If I were you, I personally wouldn't take that, Suwako. And here the beep of disapproval comes through there, but Suwako grabs the lead regardless of Minako's best efforts. And she doesn't have the most horsepower in that RX-7, so I need to follow her right through. From what I understand with this EK Civics livery, I believe Castrol, who used to be Yuna's primary sponsor, they have now moved to sponsoring Shoji. I don't know how far that relationship is going to go from here, but that is at least the reason why his EK Civic looks like that. Before, I think he had Motel on most of his cars, if I'm not mistaken. If he even had an oil company on them before. As, up into the final hairpin. At the base of a mountain, Suwako is just about as at home as she can get. And at the base of Mount Fuji, Suwako grabs the victory at Fuji Speedway. Thomas recovers from his previous race's misguided driving to grab second here. Minako still manages third, as she produced quite a safe distance between herself and third place very early on in the race, as third place was became fourth place when Suwako teared through. Fourth place was pretty hotly contested in that midfield between Maki, Kotori, Lucas McCain, Natsuki, and my dad. And probably at least one or two others. Well, I know Shoji was there, but how much could he really contend for that with his amount of horsepower? So yeah, with that out of the way, let's head to the roulette round. Nice lights. I literally saw them lighting up on the top of the screen, but they were not making noise. It is time for the roulette round at High Speed Ring. We're gonna get a lot of laps in here, that's for sure. As somewhere in this mess of different colored and tinted headlights is Kazuya Takahata, the main focus of this round. What the hell? Nakazato's being a bozo down there. Well, maybe if he didn't have his braking sensitivity on like 13, maybe that wouldn't have been a problem. Takahata's already running P9, we're not even through the first lap yet. He's also a little bit out of control, it looks like he's playing Gran Turismo 1. He has to jam the brakes to keep it off the barrier. Now that looks like a cluster. You can just watch some crazy shit happen here. Yeah. Barbara squeezes through there by the skin of her teeth. I kind of zoned out there, so we're gonna roll the instant replay. See, a bit of a clusterfuck with me surrounded by Thrasher's crew. I'd fall out of that battle pretty quickly, and suddenly Barbara Page comes screeching through at 212 miles an hour. In my defense, this $400 is more set up for cornering than it is for top speed. I'm not going to really compete with a Testarossa and an old Corvette, even if all four of our cars are in the 680 category. That's just not... Simeon Kyoto, or like Suzuka maybe? Not here. Okay. Don't mind Pro Watch, you just tried traveling through time there for a split sec. Dom DePrisco currently leads over Carly Watts. She's finally managed to get her GT upgraded to the 760 category. It took a wide body job and everything else, all of the works to get this thing into the top class. There goes Barbara. Tyron's car is spec for 720 at the moment, as is Riel's, because it can't go anywhere else. The evening light makes that gold back into the car look kind of nice, actually. Barbara rubbing fenders a tiny bit with Natsuki as she gets ahead at the first actual corner. The first actual braking zone, I should say. It's not the first corner, but it's the first corner you actually have to slow down for. Nico is running her Group 4 car. Kogasa is also doing so. The ride height difference between Nakazato and Kogasa is hilarious. Oh yeah, I don't know why Shoji... I mean, I know why he was chosen in the roulette, but he could have just brought his FK8 Civic here. He didn't have to run that. I get bonus track time, but I don't think he's learning shit from this. He's currently getting smacked by a 600 class car. What the... I guess all the investment into this Ford GT has paid off. Carly Watts gets to the inside of DePrisco. Is forced onto the curb, doesn't care. Carly Watts, for the moment, looks to be your new leader. Have to settle that through the S's, and she outbrakes the Lamborghini and cuts him off at the apex. So yes, Carly Watts, new leader in the race. Barbara Page, well, would be on her way to try and catch them, but Kazuya has arrived, and he is outperforming his vehicle right now. That wastegate sounds off. He lost control a bit there. Does DePrisco have an answer for Watts down the front stretch? Based on the speed that they're traveling at the moment, I'm going to go ahead and hazard a guess and say, no. No it isn't. Or no he doesn't. Something was loud as fuck. Even with all the horsepower in the world, Tyler still can't find a way around that Cayman. Francesco's actually keeping up with that's a 720 car in the form of an F430. And probably a bit bettering to be Francesca and seeing Maki drive an F430 when she used to be driving your team's F430 and she almost broke the thing. And now she's got one of her own. Oh, that was lapped. I was like, what was that? Yeah, we were hitting lapped cars. Belonging for Watts hits another one. Kazuya is slowly catching the two leaders. His four-wheel drive allows him to just have perfect confidence going through turn one, and that's helping him make up a ton of time on the rest of the field. The two leaders have now lapped Hakure. Won't be long, they'll be catching Ivan as well. He's at the end of this straight. Yep, there he is. They both just sneak their way through Ivan, letting them have the inside lane, following the blue flag order. I don't know if they'll be dealing with any more lap traffic. Hanamura is a little ways up the road. Yeah, they just might be. There's still going to be a couple more laps to go here. Why did I go this way? Now there is the 180SX in the distance. And three front runners go by that with no resistance. Barbara is just now lapping Shoji. So that gives you an idea of how much the lead three have escaped everybody else at this point. There's a boatload more traffic in the future, as soon our three leaders will be catching Minako and Suwako. If they really turn it up, they might even get to Nakazato before the end of the race. And Watts is approaching DePrisco right there in tow. They're going to go too wide up ahead. That's probably not what the leaders want to deal with at the moment. They're going to have to just kind of force their way through. But Takahata finds his way by them with no resistance. He doesn't have the top speed to stay with them, but here is Nakazato. Takahata might want the lead here. Uh-oh. Oh! That's, I believe that's an engine failure. Yep. Watts did quite well to avoid this torpedo of a vehicle. Actually, no, she didn't. She just missed the corner on her own. Oh, that noise. Yeah, high-speed ring will definitely push the limits of your car. Running at maximum revs, he did not set his transition high enough. That's the problem. He had all the confidence in the world through that turn 1. He could have probably cracked 190 going into T2 if his gear ratios let him, but instead he left them on whatever they were set to here, and anytime he was hitting 180 miles an hour, he was at the rev limiter, and he was damaging the engine. And, well, roughly, you know, like, how long is this track? 2.5 miles? So about 18 miles of driving on the rev limiter later, and we have an engine expiration. Yikes. Things you don't like to see. And that's going to red flag the race, because we're on the final lap of the event. Or like we're within like 2 minutes of the end of the event, so the win shall be credited to Carly Watts, followed by Dom DePrisco. Barbara Page will get the last podium spot. So I think she's slowing down here, both because of the yellow flag and because she wants to be sure that that driver is okay in there. From what I'm seeing on this camera, he's fine, he's moving around, and he's very, very annoyed at something. I don't know if he's annoyed at himself or at his car, but he is not happy. Ignore the thing on the side of the screen here. He's credited with last. We might actually give a bit of an exception and credit him with last, excluding cars he lapped, because he was going to complete an additional lap over the likes of Lily White, Ivan Sodakov, Hakare, Suwako, and Minako. So he might be classified like 15th, 16th maybe, it depends on if we, I don't know. Either way, I classify that R32 as junked. So, and that's not his car either. That's his brother's car, so that just makes things even worse. He just wrecked his brother's car. Ouch. Just ouch.